Welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today. I'm your host, Lady D. Join us every Thursday at 4 p.m. for another breakthrough conversation. Be a guest. Well, welcome to What's Going On with Lady D today, and I'm your host. Today we are celebrating a true broadcast pioneer, Larry James. He is the founder of KAZ Radio TV Network and Cleveland Podcast Studio. With over 20 years in the industry, Larry has built a platform that gives voices power. From Christian podcasting to the community conversations, he's the man behind the mic, making it all happen. So please welcome Larry James.
Thank you, Lady D. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Well, first of all, let me thank you for having me on your program. It is an honor, a privilege. You have so many great guests, so many great people coming on, and me just sitting behind the scenes, making sure everything is copacetic. But it's truly an honor to be on your show. And you have grown in your interviewing skills tremendously from when we first started with you and The Anomaly.
Yes.
Yeah, you and John.
Well, I really appreciate you giving us that opportunity, because it was all just a dream, a thought of we could do this.
Yes.
And then I lost The Anomaly later in life, and he went on to greener pastures.
Right.
God bless his soul.
Yes.
And he's keeping things going on up there.
I'm sure. I'm sure he's full of knowledge.
And then I had to learn how to just do the show all by myself.
Right.
So here is what I would like for you to let our listeners know.
Okay.
First of all, a lot of people may not be familiar with KAZ Radio TV Network. Yeah. Give us a little background on you.
Well, KAZ Radio began on the dining room table of an apartment after a divorce about 20 years ago. And so I was on a platform called Live 365, right?
Okay.
And this guy on Live 365 had all this music, Christian music. He had all these trailers. He had all these commercials and all this stuff. And he said, look, I want to get rid of KAZ Radio because it started off in Seattle.
Okay. And
would I mind taking over the station? He said, you don't have to pay me anything. Just pay the monthly 365, subscription. Okay. And so I did. And so I started to get a vision. I said, me sitting here at my dining room table, sort of similar to the table we're sitting at right now, I'm like, I could take this into the neighborhood or into society or into a studio. And so that's what happened. I went to Euclid Square Mall. I knew the owner very well. I said, hey, I want to put my radio station here along with putting some churches in here. He said, go ahead, have at it. And so we started building out churches inside of the Euclid Square Mall, and we built out KAZ Radio. I truly believe we were the first internet radio station with brick and mortar.
Wow. I remember you all at the Euclid Green Mall.
Yeah, Euclid Square Mall, right.
Yes, because you had the green room, and me and a couple of my partners, we were doing Vision Views newspaper.
Right,
and we came out to visit, and you were doing it.
Yeah,
you were
I
making
remember
things
that.
happen.
Yeah.
So that is just really awesome. Now, I want to know, since you've told us what inspired you, how did you do the transition from traditional radio to digital podcasting?
what we used to do at KAZ Radio, we were very involved in the Christian community, right?
Okay.
And so we would take our cameras. Matter of fact, I got some old cameras back there behind me. I don't know if they can see them or not, but I got some old cameras that I got from a friend named Lottie Collins, and they were new when I got them, but they're old now.
Okay.
But and I would go out to churches and film their church services and put it up on public access radio and television. I mean, right,
Okay.
down at community college.
Yeah.
And so I did that for years. And one day, a buddy of mine named Tom Agee, he said, let's do sports, man. I mean, you got the cameras, you got the boards, you got the mics. Let's go out and do some sports. So we got a contract with the, I think it was called the Senate League at the time, with the different high schools playing basketball.
Okay.
I didn't know how to do play-by-play, but he did. I just set up the equipment, and we were doing live streaming of play-by-play basketball, right?
Okay.
And so as time went on, we were doing the churches, we were doing the basketball games. I got sort of tired of running around Akron, Cleveland, Youngstown, wherever, doing these,
Because you got to be where the sports were.
wherever the games were, and plus the churches. We were in pretty high demand for some churches, right?
Okay.
So eventually, I brought it all in house. And we did KZ in-house, and we started, like I said, at the Euclid Square Mall. Then we moved over to the Burke Lakefront Airport, right? Remember that?
Yes, yes.
And then they kicked me out of there. And then now we've been here at 7100 Euclid Avenue. So the real motivation was I was just really tired of going out doing church services, conferences, and basketball games.
Okay.
It was time to bring it in and let them come to me. And then plus, I was an amputee. And secondly, I had kidney disease and a lot of other things going on. And so I said, you know what? I need to stop all this running around and go and just bring it all in-house. So I had no idea that KAZ Radio really was a podcast studio. Because podcasting, when we started, podcasting hadn't even...
It had formed.
Right,
It wasn't using that term.
Right,
Calling it that.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It hadn't even been invented yet. And so we were podcasting before podcasting was even hot, right?
Right.
And so we moved in, we brought everything in-house, and the churches, bless their hearts, started to follow me into the studio. So instead of, filming the big church services and all that, and those churches grew, by the way. Instead of doing the church services and all the outside work, and we did concerts. I mean, we just did a lot of stuff for the body of Christ when it came to filming. But we brought everything in, and then some of those pastors began to come inside with us, and we still called it KZ Radio, and then we switched it to Podcast Studio.
Okay.
And that's what happened. We switched everything to Podcast Studio, and now for our marketing purposes, we're called Cleveland Podcast Studio. I tell you, God is so awesome because when we started KZ Radio, nobody was doing it.
Right.
When we started Cleveland Podcast Studio, nobody was doing it.
Right.
Okay. And it's so funny when people look for a podcast studio near me, we're like one or two that first or second that pop up, right?
Right.
And so now we're getting, we can say secular clients or whatever coming in and doing podcasts. Now we don't put them on KZ because they're not Christian content,
Right.
but some reels I will. If it's, good and no, if it's a good wholesome kind of reel,
Right.
I'll put it on our Instagram page or even on KAZ. But that's what's happening. So Cleveland Podcast Studio is hot. By the grace of God, people call me almost several times a week, and we just get new clients coming in doing podcasts. And we get people coming in doing commercials. We get people coming in doing productions. And God's just been opening up every door.
That's just so awesome
Yeah.
because you have these wonderful studios here
Yes.
that people can rent out,
Right.
and you have all the equipment.
Right.
So you really make podcasting easy.
Easy. We do.
Okay.
We do.
So let's talk about some of this equipment that's involved in podcasting and how you make it affordable to the client.
Well, the most important thing is the client. The most important thing is the client. You know, people will go out and buy equipment. And let me tell you a secret. I bought equipment from people that started podcasts and quit. You know, they started a podcast, bought all this equipment, and quit, right? So I buy it from them for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
Okay. And then, I mean, God has blessed us. I've given away microphones. I can't tell you how many nice mics we've given away, how many boards we've given away. I mean, we've given away to schools and to people a lot of equipment, right? Because we don't need all that equipment. Right. But here's the funny thing. Equipment isn't really what's important. It's the people. It's the person. It's making it easy for them. They don't care about the equipment. Right. They just know at the end of the day they can look at their file, they can look on Instagram, they can look on here, listen on Spotify, and they sound great and they look great, and that's all they care about. They don't care if I got $1,000 camera or iPhone. They really don't. They just want to look good and they want to sound good. And yes, I do have very good equipment. I use all the microphones are either Shure or Rode microphones. Like these here are very inexpensive. This is a Rode mic. It's called a pod mic, right? It's not very expensive at all. You can get one of these for like $90, $100, right? And then I have the Rodecaster Pro, which is about $600 for that board. I have another just Rodecaster. It's about $500 for that board. And then I got a Yamaha board. I got all these boards. People don't care about that.
No.
And I got lots of lights. People don't care about that.
No.
And so even when we do our Google, when they search for us, I'm on Google, when they look at it, they don't see equipment. You know what they see? They see people.
Yes. They see people and what they're talking about.
Exactly. And that's why I tell people, don't go out and buy equipment. We're like a gym membership. Instead of going and buying, the elliptical and buying all the weights and buying the treadmill, and it's going to sit down in your basement and gather dust and become a place where you hang your clothes, right?
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Come to Cleveland Podcast Studio. Easy to book your time. Easy peasy. You book, you pay, we're here. I like that. You book, you pay, and we're here.
And that's what I'm talking about. Making it easy.
Yes.
And you have a variety of different talk shows.
Right.
Podcast shows.
Right.
I call them talk shows.
That's
all it is conversation.
Right. That's true. That's right.
So,
that's
and
right.
I love it that you are still keeping it's a Christian base.
Yes.
So you can even come and watch and get Bible studies.
Right.
We've got some great pastors on here. We have people who are doing amazing things throughout the community. I tap myself on the shoulder. I try to do.
Yes, you do.
Keep you informed of
Yes,
what's
you do.
going on. Mm-hmm. So I would like to ask you also, now you do a podcast 101 class.
We were doing Podcast 101. I do it seasonally.
Okay.
It's a one-on-one, like you said. It's not a group of people in here at the same time.
Right.
Because what I've learned from, future podcasters, they have specific questions,
Right.
And I'm pretty much able to answer those specific questions for them. If I'm not able to answer it, I'll get you the answer. But normally, specific questions they have, so some people may ask about equipment. And I'll tell them all the equipment, but then it's sort of funny. They end up coming to Cleveland Podcast Studio because they put two and two together. Oh, it's easier to come to him. I've helped people do their podcast from home. I have several clients that, I gifted some mics to, or they purchased some mics or whatever. And I show them how to do the cameras, what kind of tripod to get, set it up in your home. And they come on KZ from their home because we do remote. One of the key differences about us is, and here's my ancient Chinese secret, folks.
Okay, do tell.
Software.
Software
is very important. And I find people that go out and they'll get StreamYard, or they'll go get one of the other type all-in-one podcasts. But you might as well get Zoom. You might as well just get it. You're just getting a fancy Zoom.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
With our software, we can do neat, innovative things that don't look like you're on Zoom. Like right now, if you look at us, you think that we're in two different rooms
Okay.
because you got a blue background
Right.
and I got this
got-
background, but I can show the folks that we are actually in the same room. You know, let me see. I can show you from Lady D. Boom, there she is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And there's me. There I am. Okay, but we're in the same room, and that's one of the neat things about podcasting. And with KAZ, I can make you look like anything. I can turn that blue screen that you're on and turn it a whole different color. That's why I put blue behind the clients, because some may want a living room behind them, some may want a forest behind them, some may want something different. So that's why we do that.
So is that what the young lady who comes on and she's down at the lake?
No, she's actually at the lake.
She's actually there live. Because
Yeah.
I was going to say, I see the Cleveland sign there sometimes.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And she's actually doing
Yeah.
her live podcast right
At
there
the lake.
on the lake.
Yeah, Denise Cunningham and Serena Magnum. We actually go out. As a matter of fact, we'll be out tomorrow morning
Okay.
filming the podcast. It's probably gonna be. It's pretty chilly, but it's okay. We get out there like around 8:30, do the podcast. We do it live, and they play music, share a word of God. It's really motivating. They get thousands and thousands of hits on it because they're pretty well known throughout the community.
Right.
And that's what we do.
That's really great. I love it. I love it here because it's like the comfort of home. And as you said, you make it very simple and easy.
Right.
So if someone is interested in reaching you at KAZ Radio TV Network, how can they do that?
The easiest way is our phone number is 216-584 5400. 216-584-5400. But simply go to the Cleveland Podcast Studio, Cleveland Podcast .studio. That's Cleveland Podcast .studio, and you can book your time there. And we just come up with something really newly innovative. People always want to tour. I want to tour the studio. I want to tour the studio.
Right.
So you saw that we came up with our own digital video tour.
Yes.
So I shoot that to potential clients, all right? And they have a tour of the studio, from how to get in, to how to get upstairs, to what the 3 studios look like. Because it's about time.
Yes.
I've learned that you have people come in and walk through the studio, they get all excited, and the next thing you know, they ghost you.
Right.
So I'll just send it to you, and you can make a decision from off of that.
Because time is valuable.
Yes, it is.
And once again, you're making it convenient,
Simple
simple, easy.
and fun.
It's a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
And there you go.
That's
now,
right.
I want to ask you,
Sure.
how has podcasting helped uplift local voices and the different businesses here in the city?
Well, we have clients. You have clients that you interview, share their information like you did with Grandparents' Day, like you did with the one, I don't know if it's adult daycare or what have you. That was a really good podcast. The one you just had, the jazz concert and all that. So that's one really good way of letting people know what's going on. You had Miss Page on here, Patricia Page. So that's what good podcasters are going to do. They're going to find people who have an interesting story, and they're going to pull that story out of them, and we're going to film it, make it look good, make it sound good, and make it go viral.
Now, we're on other stations besides Facebook.
Yeah.
So where else can they see?
Well, right now we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube right now. We will be live on the KAZ Radio Television website because this room's set up a little differently. So I'll have to post it on our website. We do reels on Instagram. We do reels on Facebook, obviously. Our clients are on Spotify. Our clients are on Apple. Our clients are all over the audio space. I'm sure some on Twitch, some are on TikTok. KZ personally isn't, but our clients are on any and every platform that they ever, because we send them an audio file, we send them the video files. Today I just had a client come in and they wanted a 4K, Ultra HD, real high resolution file.
Okay.
So we sent that over to them, and we normally just do 1080p on our other. I know I'm talking tech stuff. See,
Yes, now
right?
see, you're getting technical, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is a
Right.
what did you call that again?
4K.
Now, what is a 4K?
It's a high resolution like you see on television.
Okay, so it's like
Yeah.
an 810.
Right. It's really high resolution because they're doing TV commercials and they're doing Meta commercials and they're doing Facebook and YouTube commercials.
Quality.
So they
really
want
has to be there. They
yeah.
have the best.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
okay.
They want the best.
And you offer that service.
Absolutely. But here again, it's software.
Software. It's all about the software.
It's all about the software because I can take a phone like this.
Okay.
So I can take a phone like this, right? And do a podcast. And a lot of people do podcasts on their iPhones because the resolution is so good. You get a 4K resolution on here. But I connect it because people say, well, how do you connect the sound to the phone? Well, you need a soundboard or you need a lapel mic
Okay.
that transmit the sound into the iPhone. It's not hard.
Okay.
You can do it at home if you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't hold nothing back.
Well, that's great because see, I'm not the techie girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to come in
Right.
and have someone like you perform and make me look good.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Because I barely keep up what's going on telephone, on my cell phone.
Right.
So that's what's really wonderful about KAZ.
Yes.
And obviously it must be something good because you've been at it for 20 years.
20 years.
So let's talk about these 20 years and what challenges have you seen over the 20 years?
You got enough time?
Okay, tell a story. But you know how you overcame some of those challenges?
Well,
Because when we had COVID and things like that.
Well, first of all, I retired, from my job at AT&T because I was sick, right?
Okay.
So that was 6 years on a dialysis, right? 3 days out of the week.
Right.
But we kept the doors open,
Yes, you did.
okay? And so then I got a kidney transplant. And then, we still paid our bills. That's one of the things you got to think about. You got to pay that rent. I've been very blessed to be in this building because I don't have to worry about gas and lights and all that kind of stuff. I just got to pay these folks their rent every month and pay my internet bill, right?
Right. Okay.
And then, I'd recently had an amputation to my left leg, and my right leg had already been amputated, and that's what the right leg is when I started KAZ. And so with the left leg being amputated, I was in the hospital from May 31st until July 15th or something. And then I was off another 3 or 4 months, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But guess what?
Yes.
God still provided.
Yes.
God still provided. And, I just be frank, the landlord was so gracious. He understood what was going on. He said, hey, look, we'll forget about that, what you owe me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that was just a really,
Yes.
blessing. And so, when people do things like that for you, man, you want to stay with them. You want to, be a good tenant.
Yes.
You follow me and pay that rent. And so, I went through that and God still provided. And now he's telling me, I do Ubering too, right?
Yes.
So with the Ubering, but God is saying, it's time to pull back. It's time to pull back from the Uber and just really focus on honing on what I'm doing. Make some calls, send out some emails. Because one of the things I'm learning is that there are companies out there, like we get companies coming in. One company that came in, we had several, but one I can think of specifically was Spyglass. And their company, all their company do is look at phone bills all day and help other companies lower their phone bills. That's it. That's what they do.
Okay.
But they're $1 million something company. But they came in to do their podcast, and they want to do some live streaming and some other technical stuff. And just because I had the knowledge of it, I was able to assist them. Even though there were some challenges, I was able to assist them because I've been at it so long. Right. There's nothing really I don't know how to do when it comes to this space.
Right.
And that's just it. I just know it. It's a part of me. It's my destiny, my calling. And so that's what I do. I've just been very fortunate. I never went to school for this. I just tinkered with it, played with it, scratched my head with it, go to sleep, wake up and say, aha.
Aha. I got it. This is how it
Yeah,
works.
this is how it works.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing for.
That is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you just told us a wonderful story because I really admire where you've been and how you came to be here sitting with me today. And you know, God has given you the willpower to just keep going. But in the interim, you are been a blessing to so many of us out here.
Yeah, that's what
You
I'm
know?
told. Amen.
And you've been a blessing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And by being a blessing to me, I'm able to be a blessing to others.
Yes.
And we have to keep this going. Because
right.
this is a 360 thing.
That's right. That's
we
right.
have to
That's
help
right.
one another.
That's right.
And lift
That's right.
each other up.
That's right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we're a family.
Right.
We're a family.
Absolutely.
In KZ, we have an amazing family here. So never feel as though you have any question is a dumb question.
Right.
It's a smart question because you want to get an answer.
That's right.
And if you don't know, it's okay. Pick up the phone and call Larry
Right.
James.
Yeah, pick up the phone, text me, whatever. Right.
Because if
right.
you don't know, like you said, he'll find out.
And I've helped, you know, and I tell you, I've helped other, I don't even want to call them competitors.
Right,
Because I helped them get started.
right.
You know what I mean? There's a list of online radio stations here locally that, hey, what do you need? How can I help?
Right.
You know, I've given some equipment. I've given some, you know, because that's I'm not some sort of gatekeeper. You know, God said, you know, it's better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
But you know, when I give to other people, I get it from the receiving from others. So it's one big
just,
circle.
Yep, it just
Right.
keeps coming back.
Right.
It just keeps coming back. And that's why it's important to keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Because God is going to keep blessing you and everybody else who come through these doors.
That's right.
Okay? We just have to learn that society wants us to be competitive against each other. But that's the wrong attitude.
Right.
Because that's a downfall. And that's where your business starts to fail. Because you're looking at what someone else have versus helping someone else.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
you never know where your good is going to come.
That's
As
right.
my big mom say,
Amen.
good ain't never lost.
Amen.
So, Mr. James,
Yes.
tell us what's next on the agenda for you.
Well, you know, that is a good question. When I hear from my daddy and he give me instructions, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow his instructions. I'm tired of jumping ahead of him. You know what I mean? I want to hear that voice. I want to hear him say, okay, do this with KZ or do this with Cleveland Podcast Studio or whatever he tells me to do. I'm listening. You know, I want to hear from him. That's how you make the best decisions, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes, indeed, yes, indeed. So I want to say this here. You are so very passionate about what it is that you do. And you're so giving with knowledge. What would you give a listener today that's listening that would like to get started?
Yeah.
What kind of insight would you share with them?
Well, you know, one of the key things, you just said it, get started. Don't be afraid to pick up your camera and go on Facebook and share what is on your heart. Just start from that, you know. Don't care about how it looks, you know, and how it sounds. Just get started. That is the best advice I can tell anybody. Just do it. Because I have clients that did that. They just got started. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're renting out studio space. Because when you first get started, if it's just you don't necessarily need a studio, right?
Exactly, right.
But when you start having guests and want to do interviews, it's best to use a studio because then you don't have to worry about setting up, tearing down, inviting people to your home and all that stuff. You can come in here, you know, for $55 for a half hour and $85 for an hour, you know, and have your podcast done. And we edit if you want it. We can post it if you want it. We can send you whatever kind of file you want, and you can go to town.
You can't get it no better than that.
You can do a podcast once a week. You can do a podcast once a month. You can do a podcast. It doesn't. But just get started.
Just get started.
And I'm gonna tell you one more thing too. When you're interviewing, interview your friends first. Start off like that, and always ask this question of everybody you interview. This is a nugget. Who do you know that I should interview? Who do you know that I should interview? Because you know what happens? Oh, my cousin just started a business.
That's right.
That's right. Or my auntie, man, she just, have this nonprofit organization. And that's how you start getting more interviews, and you get better and better and better. I mean, just like Lady D right here.
Yeah, because I always went and scouted. I go to places, I go to events, I see who's making a difference in our community, because that's what I'm about, is letting people have a platform to share what good they're doing and how they're making a change.
Right.
And that's what we all should be doing. Make a change.
Awesome.
Okay? So call today, book, get your tour, or just stop on by and see how you can get started and having your own show today. Now, please, I do have to tell you this.
What's that?
Because Lady D is going to have a Halloween party.
Oh, boy.
But this is going to be a blast, because this is the Disco Halloween on October 31st at Mrs. O's Cafe in Garfield Heights. The address is 12672. It's going to be from 8 to 1. Pull out your 80s, your 70s and 80s outfit, because we're going to be soul training and dancing on the tracks. We're going to do the Soul Train thing. So come on out. Tickets are only $10. Give me a call today at 216-571-2235. Now that's what's going on. Thanks for watching. Join us every Thursday, and you too can be a guest straight from KAZ Radio Podcast Studio.